Okay, so hello everyone, welcome. My name is Emma and I'm a growth marketer here at Hunch. And on behalf of all of us here, I would like to wish you a warm welcome to our very first webinar, where we'll be presenting the Hunch Creative Video Studio, or what we believe is the best video studio in the industry. With me, I'm having our head of product, Mr. Nebojsa, who will be presenting the studio. Of course, we'll go through some use cases, how you can leverage your products to create amazing videos and stay competitive on the market, how not to fall behind just with pure imagery and static content. For those of you who don't know us, Hunch is a certified global Facebook business partner for technology. We're heavily involved in the space of creative enhancement of basically everything you do on paid social and also campaign automation. And we'll soon be expanding into new networks, so please stay tuned. So, speaking of the industry, what's all the fuss about? What's trending now? Trends are constantly changing. Video is growing. Last year, we heard that Instagram is no longer a photo sharing platform. But then again, we're seeing the growth of Instagram Reels, the growth of TikTok as a social behemoth today. TikTok even went from a potential ban in the USA to the biggest growing video network today. Budgets are flowing in, but more importantly, users are also moving there as well. They're spending more time in Reels than in any other feeds combined. So what are your customers doing on social today? Of course, they're watching video, and the numbers actually don't lie. Let's speak about Facebook and Instagram. For example, Facebook users are focused more on stories and on content. We've seen an increase of 55% this year compared to last year. Again, on Instagram, the Explore feed has been very popular this year. Reels are growing, and so is the number of content creators on Reels. That's actually where users are spending their time. In 2021, users are mostly spending their time looking on video content, with Reels growing rapidly. Then again, YouTube generated nearly $20 billion revenue in 2020 and now has more than 2 billion people accessing it monthly. And the vice champion, of course, TikTok, who dominates with more than 1,000% increase in its global user base. Adding to that, the next generation of networks is live, or let's say in motion. So the content is no longer that static. Again, we have TikTok, which is growing purely from video. What does that say? What does that mean for you? Do you want to keep spending money on traditional media like still image placements, or do you want to be where your users are? How do you even scale with video? What this means is that you're no longer in the game with your competitors, but content creators who are making content purely to grab users' attention. So the sole purpose of your marketing strategy is to grab your users' attention, but better. We're looking at the next generation of content, and this is why we've built the Hunch Creative Studio, to enable you to produce high quality content that converts. The Hunch Creative Studio includes the image and video studio, and today we'll talk about the video studio and all the amazing things you can do with it. As I mentioned, Nebojsa, our head of product, will lead the demo and try to bring you closer to the importance of video today. Also, we'll be accepting your questions throughout the event. We'll have a Q&A session at the end of the event, but in the meantime, please feel free to send me or Nebojsa or any of our panelists any questions that may come to mind. So without further ado, I'm handing this off to Mr. Nebojsa. You may have a word now.
Thank you, Emma. So, and thank you all for being here. Some of you already know me through Hunch, and the rest of you, thank you for taking time to see what we're actually doing. So we're hugely excited to present you our video studio. It's been a massive step for us. The team has done some amazing things, which I hope I'll do justice while presenting. But let's talk about why we actually built this, what prompted us to do so. So one side of it is what Emma mentioned, like users are now on video, and the other side is like we're not seeing that many video campaigns. So what's the problem? Why is such a discrepancy? We all know, like even individually, each of us is spending time on, as Emma mentioned, Reels or TikTok or whatever, where the actual interesting content is. So speaking with our customers and even wider in the industry, we kind of always hear the same things. They boil down to like, we don't have design resources, or you have marketers working on campaigns who just say like, I don't know how to design, I don't know where to begin. Then with the video, performance is always a challenge. Production costs are really massive. Like still, the video production cost is a significant fraction of media cost actually when playing something like that. And then at the end of the day, you come up to designers and ask them like, why don't you build that? Like when talking with creative strategists and everyone, like you have so many ideas, and it comes down to in no time. So these are the things that prompted us to work out how we can help you. Actually, as an aside for this, we prepared a little poll. We hope to get some interesting results. Like we are going to be talking about how you actually source materials for these campaigns. So I'm going to launch the poll. Take time to answer, and hopefully by the end of the webinar, we'll have some interesting results to discuss. Now, what I mentioned basically boils down to this. None of us here are building videos for the purpose of building videos. We kind of like to watch them, not like to build them. But the challenge, the actual challenges are how do you actually build a video to work? We spent ages on perfecting image and HTML creatives and figuring out what makes user click, but we still haven't done so with the video. The other thing is like, okay, you got your video, but how do you get the better ROAS? How like you have to report on your campaign, your client, your manager, someone's about to ask like, what's the ROAS on this? And at the end of the day is how do you get better overall performance? Where does the video actually play into? And these are some of the things that we're going to talk about. So taking from what we learned on display, on social media, on static imagery, we know that there are a couple of things that are, well, changed, but always stay the same. You need to get the user attention. So there's that challenge. Like if you run image creative in video placement, it kind of sucks. Like to keep it simple, like even short form, like using 3-second placement with a static image, it blows. The other thing is building a native content. So this also ties into the poll that we mentioned is like, do you build the content with placement in mind, or are you just like recycling the previously produced content? And then at the end of the day, once you get user attention, and if you get them to click or whatever, you need to show that relevant information. So without further ado, let me introduce you to the star of the show, our video studio. And here we come up on one of the biggest challenges, like being faced with a blank canvas. So let me show you how easy it is to build a studio. Some of you who already work at Hunch kind of can recognize the look and feel of this, but yeah, let's get started. So today we're actually going to be building a story around the brand of sneakers, and let's try to build some nice creative there. We expanded creative libraries in Hunch Studio. You basically have your background libraries, shape libraries, and whatnot, and we'll be expanding these even further. Our creative lab is heavily at work at expanding these. But yeah, let's work with the materials that I've prepared. So here we're talking about sneaker brands. So speaking of relevance, we're probably talking about young urban population. The idea behind Video Studio is actually to leave you in that kind of codeless environment where you don't have to bother too much to produce something. So let me show you, like I've just scaled my image, but I might want to replace the background. So I can come in here and say, oh, let's see how this works. And I can easily rearrange elements here on the stage. So let's keep on working on this, and let's find some nice fit. Where should we put our product in? So yeah, all the usual trappings of how you build a layout are there. So let's get started. I kind of want to show my background so I can easily manipulate everything. Those of you on the design side of things will recognize these. For those of you from marketing side of things, let me just show you, like you can easily work out the layouts. No one is going to tell you again, like, oh, you haven't aligned anything. So you can now easily align things on your layout. Let's get the opacity down. Let's show our image. And yeah, that looks nice. Let's place our product here. And the idea is that you can do this easily. So right now I'm looking at my product. I kind of like where it feels, how it feels. Let's put it at some angle. So yeah, that works nice. The idea is to help you enable you to build the layout first. So why the layout first? The idea behind the layout first is you need to know what user is going to see. So one part of the equation is it has to move. It has to be a video, but it also has to be something that looks nice and that gives all the relevant information. So yeah, let's get started on that. We're gonna add our brand logo here. Your account libraries, as you're used to, host your brand assets, brand fonts, and among all like the brand logos. So let's place the logo here. Again, because I'm lazy, I'm just gonna use our alignment tools here to position this. And our layout is starting to take shape. So what's actually the relevant information? Let's face it, like we have to put in the product price. Definitely that's something that's gonna grab the user's attention if it's a good price. So let's place that there, but it kind of doesn't look nice still. So yeah, let's see what we have in our image library. So as I said, we extended library to support advanced graphics. You can now import videos, you can import shapes. Yeah, let's see what we have in our brushes here and find something nice, grungy, that's gonna look good on our layout. All the other libraries, of course, can be extended with what you build on your own, and you can build your brand libraries. So let's grab some nice color here, go with this. I can easily rearrange my layers. You can already see that it's like really easy to manipulate stuff you have on screen. So let's pick up a pace a bit and see how this can look. So I'm gonna add a price here, and I wanna maybe add product title. So these are my sneakers. We'll be also extending support for web fonts. Currently, you can import as much fonts as you can, but we're going to use some open libraries to allow you to even source those, so you don't have to bother with sourcing font materials. So let's see what we can do here. And we kind of have a layout. So here comes the big question, how do you animate? For those of you that don't animate, we've built a simple animation tool. So if I select an object and go here, I can easily animate how something comes into play. So yeah, let's make this now. I'm going to do a simple bounce animation here. And let's see how that's going to work. As you can see, it's really easy to add animations and see how they work. Here, I see that my logo is coming in for a second. If I wanted to do that faster, I could reduce that. I can also move my layers when I want them to show up here on screen. But yeah, I like my animation, and I'm going to just leave this in a heartbeat animation so it looks nice. So even now, when we take a look at our video, it's starting to take shape. It's moving, it's nice, it presents everything that we wanted to show. So yeah, but it's not always that easy. Like sometimes you really don't have time even to fix such things. This is why we built an easier animation mode, where you can place animations. I can do something random and see what's gonna happen. Each time that I click, something new is about to happen. You actually might be preferential to maybe shifting animations, so you can try how it's gonna look like that. Or you want to go wild with rubber band animations. So this is like the first step. How do you build your video? It has to look nice. So we got that covered. We have our amazing backgrounds. We have our products. We have our relevant offer. But we're still building one video. And coming back to what we talked about is like, how do you stay relevant? How do you actually increase the ROAS? Some of the challenges that you guys are facing is you're not promoting a single product, and you're not building a video in order to boost the presence of a page or get users there. You're actually building a video to get some performance out of the campaign. There are a couple of ways to go about that. Like the first one is actually you need to promote more products. Not everyone, I wouldn't purchase those sneakers. Probably better part of male audience also wouldn't. You have to promote more products. But also like another way to increase ROAS on your campaigns is like to save on production. Everybody's looking at the ROAS in terms of like, okay, this is my media spend and this is how many purchases I have, but how many of the users are actually honest towards the fact how much the production costs there. So the idea is like spend less on production. We already shown you how you can easily animate something and play around, but you can also automate production. And that's where another challenge comes in. So imagine we have 10 products. Like we want to promote 10 products, that means building 10 videos for 10 different placements. So let me show you what Studio can do there. In pretty much the same way that we can build image library, we can also build template library. And I'm going to show you a template we actually had our designers build and how easy it is to customize. So I'm going to go in here and show you what I mean by like promoting more products. One of the biggest challenges with that is, of course, like we have our video, it looks nice. This one looks way nicer than what I did. But how do we move in with more products? This is why at the core of everything we do is like Hunch stays behind the idea of turning your data into creative. And the best way to do that is probably through dynamic creative. When I say dynamic, it kind of sounds complicated, but what this means is actually, I don't want to promote one product. I want to promote 10 sneakers. So let me show you how easy that. You all know about product catalogs. You're all working with them. So let me show you what goes on when I connect this to a catalog. I'm just going to go do the same thing for the product name. Sorry. And for the price. Right now I made this dynamic, so which doesn't sound that sexy. you agree. But look at what's going on. So here's one sneaker, and here's the other, and here's the third one, and here's the fourth one, and here's the fifth one. So we connected our video to a product catalog, and now we have 10 videos instead of one. So you can easily source your products, separate them into audiences, run them there, and increase your performance. And what I say when I mean automated production, where you save actually on production cost, is once I save this template, I've supposedly created one template, but what I actually did is in the background, this is going to produce 10 videos. And not only that, like the other thing that we can do is like, it's not just a matter of products. Of course, all of you understand that. Like you run your campaign and you want to increase performance, or something happens that prompts you to like enhance the promotion or whatever. So how do you do that? Like in a classical scenario, you would have to go and build the materials again, source the designers and whatnot. But let me show you what you can do here. So I'm going to duplicate our template. I'm going to come in here and I want to add some promotion. I want to add special sale. So fortunately, I've prepared quite a few things here. So I'm going to add sale icon here. And then again, I'm going to try and use a simple animation. I'm kind of prone to these bouncing animations. I like how they look. So let's see how that looks. It's nice, but I kind of don't like it, really. It overlaps my logo. So one of the challenges, aside from building animations, is actually how do you edit this? We know that like if your designer was to hand you a PSD file, you couldn't do much about it, let alone with a complex animation. So we have some good news there. You actually like, if I want to change my layout, as we said, we kind of tried to keep it layout centric here, is the only thing I need to do is basically this. So now I like where that sits. I don't have to reset my animations. I don't have to do anything. I can just replay my video. I can see it's there. So now I built my sale video and I really can start going wild here. The secret behind performance is just not just the product. You have your competitors. There's a lot of moving parts there, but you can also like try to test the triggers that work with your audience. And that's massively important. Like with audiences with such short attention spans, you really need to figure out what's going on in their heads and what makes them tick. So the idea is don't just stick with sale. Like sale is the, of course, our audiences are smarter than that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another promotion here. And I want to promote 30-day money-back guarantee. So I'm building my second template here. And now, if you go back to talk about how many products we're promoting, right now, instead of 10 videos, we're having 20 videos. And just for good measure, I want to offer our users free shipping. So imagine actually running this campaign is like you're promoting products, but you're also testing different triggers. And if you're running that on top of the funnel campaign, you'll know what works best with your audiences. And then you get also your transferable learnings, you get some creative insights and whatnot. But in order to that, you really have to be prompt. You don't have time to go about the full creative production. Fortunately, the only thing that I have to do is come in here and say, oh, okay, we want to do free shipping. Okay, great. Now we're doing free shipping on our creatives. I'm going to rewind the video, play it, and now I have my free shipping video. So I'm going to save this. But right now, in a couple of minutes that I was talking, we went from building a single video into building 30 videos, which brings us to something that all of you experience probably on a daily basis. It's not even simple as that. Like it's easy when it's a small or a center e-commerce. It's like you're doing everything from one point and you optimize on one campaign. But realistically, once you go into bigger clients, once you start branching out e-commerce, once you try to figure out how retail works with online, it gets really challenging. Like if you are doing big clients, if you yourself are a big client, you know how much of a challenge it is to like bring retail online. What do we do with the COVID? Like there are massive challenges around everything right now. And to do all of that, you really need to stay agile. And again, going back to the fact that ROAS isn't just a matter of like how well a campaign performs, the ROAS is also a matter of how much you invest into building that campaign. Let's figure out a scenario here. So let's say you're promoting all of our products. So our sneakers brand is running a promotion across 10 retail stores. So what do we want to do? Well, probably we want to drive traffic to individual stores. We don't want to show every store to every user. We want to localize it somehow. So I'm going to jump into one of our templates. And I'm going to show you how easy it is to add location data. So I'm connecting location data with our products. But what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to say, okay, my product name isn't that massively important anymore. I actually want to add location name here. And so with a single click, I can select the store. I can say, okay, this is nice. There's a store at Marble Arch. That's great. I want to make this slightly bigger. Again, I don't have to worry about my animation falling apart because we are talking about layout-centric design. So here I have my Marble Arch. And for the good measure, I'm going to add something helping users realize that we're talking about locations. So I'm going to drop a pin here. Right now, I have updated this. But going back to what we're actually building is like our campaign is trying to promote 10 locations. So we're talking about 30 videos on 10 locations. And now we're talking about 300 videos, which is already in itself amazing. I mean, most of you probably don't have any idea how long it takes to produce 300 videos, but let me tell you, it's quite a bit. So, and let's say your campaign started, everything is going nice, people are buying shoes, or your promotion is going nice, your videos are getting clicks, your CPMs are good, everything is fine, but your client or your manager comes up and say, listen, we can't measure this. Like iOS has been a pain in the ass like the whole last year. We have no exact measurements. We don't know who bought. What are we going to do? So there's always the good old way of adding a promo code to a promotion, to making sure that the actual user coming into a store is coming in because they saw a certain promotion. Now imagine walking into your creative department and telling them, look, just need a slight tweak on these 300 videos. Good luck getting live out of that one. But to be fair, that's something that you probably wouldn't do. And the idea of agility behind this is actually, and the automation and all of that is like, as you can probably guess so far, is like, I can really do that really easily. So let's add our Hunch Studio promo code for extra 10% off. Yep. So I've added my promo code happily, and now it's part of all my creatives. So as we speak, hundreds of creatives are being rendered. All of our campaigns are being updated. But let me show you a glimpse of what Studio can actually do. So for all of you designers in the audience, like we've shown the easy animation, we've shown how easily you can import stuff, but we didn't do just that. We actually turned everything not upside down, but sideways, and decided we need another mode. Like there are things that good designers want to do, and this is why we unlocked the keyframe animation. So although it doesn't sound that sexy to you marketers out there, I believe the designers know what we talk about when we say we unlock the keyframe animation. And it's basically not that scary, really. It just gives you more control over what you're animating. And for you marketers, it's giving you another reason why you can drag your designers into this without them kicking and screaming. So let me show you how does it actually work. So keyframes are basically positions on timelines. So what's going to happen here is, and let me show you how easy the animation is with keyframes. So I'm going to do this. I've selected my first keyframe, move the product, move the promo code, and if you take a look at animation, this is what's going on. So not a big deal animating it or manipulating it, but it's a hugely powerful tool because they can do a lot there. So let me show you, although this probably won't look as nice as I hope it will, but let me show you what's going to happen. So I've just added the rotation in one of the keyframes, and now we get this. So you get the idea that the tool is pretty powerful and that anyone can work with it. And as I said, like this is a real world scenario. This is something that would happen to you. This is something at which point you would kind of try to make the best of campaign without big intervention. We enable you to do that big intervention really easy in a matter of minutes. This is, of course, just the tip of the iceberg. I can't even imagine to like present the whole studio within 15 or 20 minutes. The idea is that our creative team, our product teams will be working to enhance this further. And we will call them workshop sessions, strategy sessions, where you can take part, learn more about strategy, about video, learn more about what's coming next, and do some hands-on exercises in video. So most of you are better designers than I am, so I guess you're going to enjoy yourself more. And with that, I would like to hand off to Emma, because I understand we had a couple of questions in our Q&A. So please.
Thanks, Nebs. I see a few questions here. I think they're like general type and video specific. So let's start with the general ones. Someone asked, how many videos can we build, and can we use the videos outside of Facebook?
That's a great question. As you saw me do right now and explain, we kind of quickly ramped up to 300 videos. And although it sounds crazy, there's really no limit what you can do in studio. It's up to your imagination. I think the more reasonable limitation would sit on the side of the budget, like how big a campaign you're running, how big your audiences are, and whatnot. So I don't think the studio is going to stop you from doing anything. And for your other question, that's actually something that we encourage our users. So we opened up, like we listened to what you said. We used to build only for specific placements. Now you can build any custom format that you want, any duration of the video. So we encourage you to take what you can do best in studio and take it outside of Facebook, test it on other networks. Absolutely. Like, we'd love to hear how that works.
Thank you. The next one says, could you give us some good use cases?
So yeah, here's the thing. As I mentioned in the beginning, users are watching the video, but campaigns still aren't that present in video placement. We're talking about social specifically here. So I would say like the easy one, where literally no-brainer one, is use those in prospecting campaigns. Try to build those videos, try to see what makes your users tick, get those CPMs down in prospecting. That's definitely an easy win. With video, and then try to lower that down into your bottom of the funnel, see what works. But yeah, just want to like plug this one here, is like our campaign strategy team is preparing also some of these sessions, and there will be definitely better poised to answer this question. Make sure to follow us on LinkedIn to get those updates, and so you can take part in those sessions also.
Cool. Now let's go to the video specific ones. It says that we already have image designs. Can we somehow animate them? And can you import the video content?
Yeah, actually, let me show you something. So as I mentioned in the beginning, is like, for some of you, the big challenge is like, I don't know how to design. So we understand that some of you are old clients. You've been working here, you've been working on your image template. So we made them fully cross-compatible. Like, you can take your image template, take it into the studio and make it move. But for those other of you who haven't been building that and who haven't been working that much, let me show you something we cooked up. So our creative lab has started working on customizable templates. The idea is we're going to keep expanding this library with various branches, various verticals, industries, and whatnot. And our creative teams is taking best-in-class videos to try to figure out what works with users. And let me show you how that's easy for you to build. So I'm going to take one customizable template. Let's stick with our team of sneakers here and show you how that looks like. So it kind of looks nice. I like it. It's kind of easy, but yeah. And let's connect our products here. So I'm going to go here, change this to a dynamic link. And here I get one of my sneakers. And already I'm having a nice design. So here's another feature for you. We understand that not only layout, but also the whole look and feel of the design can be quite a challenge when you don't have a design team. This is where our creative lab work heavily on these color palettes. So let me show you what these do. Let's grab a nice looking one here. So here you have different color palettes. All the customizable templates are fully color dynamic. And without further ado, this is how it actually works. Like, you can mix your colors. I can select another team. So this looks nice with my sneakers, right? So you don't have to do much there to get those designs to look nice. Let me just figure out some good look. Okay, this is a good look, let's say. And you can also easily edit them. So let me show you, this one looks different, right? So I don't have to keep shuffling. I actually get my template colors here. So I can change just one color and say, oh, look, these are my green sneakers. I actually want them to look nicer. And here we get another look. So it's really easy to do that. And now imagine combining that. Let me just make this one also dynamic. And imagine combining this with predefined animations where you can play around. So here, yeah, that looks nice. So yeah, with basically a couple of clicks, I've built a video around the design, which I didn't have at start. So I can fully customize it. I can play around with it. So yeah, I hope that you guys also get the chance to explore this.
So these are actually some predefined templates in the studio.
Yeah, and we're building way more of those. So combine that with the libraries and everything, you can build unique designs with a couple of clicks.
Just a glimpse of the Hunch Video Studio. Okay, another one is from our clients. They asked, who do you think should use the studio?
So yeah, you guys spoke a lot to us about like what's hard about video and whatnot, and we built it with you in mind. As you can see, there's a lot of stuff that you can do with a click, and that's one part of it. I would say like anyone who's heavily invested in performance marketing can benefit a lot from using the studio. But again, looking at even our designers, our creative lab here, we understood the need for someone to build something really amazing. And to build something truly amazing, you need amazing designers, and amazing designers don't like changing tools. So we built our studio so it can easily switch from someone like you or me to someone who's been designing their whole life and still find it useful. So yeah, we kind of hope we moved a couple of those barriers, and I would say, yeah, performance marketers, but also their design teams, they both can get a lot out of the studio.
Thanks again. And another one just popped in the chat. Oh, it's one of our clients again. They asked, do you plan on organizing training sessions?
Yeah, definitely. So this was the idea. We wanted to show you the studio. Really excited, and as you can probably see, there's no way to show everything the studio can do in a couple of minutes. For our clients, just reach out to your Hunch representatives, and we'll organize dedicated training sessions. We'll be sharing like training documentation and all of that. For all the future clients, you can reach out to our sales reps or just submit a query on the website to book a demo session where you can use studio in detail. And also our creative lab is, and we keep shamelessly plugging these in, but our creative lab will be hosting workshop sessions where you will also not just get a chance to see more of the studio, but get a chance to do some hands-on work in the studio.
Okay, I think we can now go with the poll results if you have them, Nebs.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see how that went. I'm gonna end the poll here. Okay, so I'm gonna share the results. So as you can see, it's a mix. Like there are some good news here. We see that there's a lot of you generating branded video assets for social media, which is great. That's definitely better than what we've been seeing last years. But also we see adapted content from other networks that you are very well aware of how that works. And then we see user-generated content. And we actually expect to see more of the last one. This basically what poll shows is a mix that we're seeing, but it still proves the challenge that like there's not much of that content. You rely on some heavy production to get that content. And let's face it, like as Emma mentioned, what's coming behind the corner is basically social network, well, 3.0 if you count MySpace. And social network 3.0 is heavily based on video. But there's another challenge for you, which you have to tackle is your biggest competitor is no longer your competitor. And not just about the offer, it's about user attention. And like go on TikTok for 15 minutes and you're gonna see what you're fighting up against. You're fighting against users who are generating content just to grab someone's attention. So ads are boring, like even the good ads are boring. And that's a big challenge. And I want to offer you a glimpse of what we've been doing. Like Hunch will be expanding into other networks. We encourage you to expand into other networks, to shuffle up your media mixes and find some results there. But as I keep mentioning, like get your designers into studio. I want to show you a project that we did and we're working on of how you can actually fight that, how you can actually fight the users who are grabbing all the attention, and what you can actually do in the studio once you get your designers in. So I'm going to present you something that recently has been going by the name of addressable content, or the hyper-personalized content served at the right time, to the right person at the right place. But to keep it simple is like build as many videos as your users like and try to get their interest. So without further ado, let me show you how that can look once you start building for the network of the next generation. agree it's amazing. So thank you for your time today. It was a pleasure to present for you. I hope I did justice to our video studio. And yeah, hope to see you soon on one of our other webinars. I'm just going to hand off to Emma.
Thanks again, Nebs, and thank you all of you. We have some more questions here in the chat and Q&A box, but our team is dealing with them, so you can actually see them later. And I hope you all had a great time. I hope you learned something valuable and that you stay with us in the future, of course. If you manage to grab a moment, please fill out the survey, which you'll get in the follow-up email in a few days, which we'll send out, so we can work on improvements for similar future events, actually to deliver the best possible experiences. And also make sure to follow Hunch on LinkedIn. We constantly keep adding new content to keep you up to date with all our activities. For example, as Nebojsa mentioned, we'll host another webinar soon where we'll go further into video strategy and in general marketing strategy. Actually, we'll try to make you adapt to what's coming in 2022. So again, thank you all for attending. It was really a pleasure and honor. So see you again next time, and make sure to follow your hunch.